My name is Joanne, Ellis, and I live downtown Denver. I've been down here for about 10 years. I've been in Colorado for probably close to 30 years altogether. I have MS, and I've had it, been diagnosed since 2006, January 2006. My father was John Kennedy, my mother Dorothy, and they had 5 children. And my father was in the service. He was in the military a little over 20 years. My father's name was Albert Kennedy. He was born in Duck River, Tennessee. He was not born in a hospital. My father was born in Tennessee as well. My grandmother's name was Odell. That was her first name, Odell, which she never liked. She was from Tennessee as well. Later on, they moved to Illinois. My mom and dad had 5 of us. They had 2 boys and 3 girls. And I was the middle child. Sheila was the oldest, and Ronald was the youngest. My dad was in the military for a little over 21 years. Later on, after I graduated from high school, I married while I was going to college, and I had 5 children. My husband Antonio was from Panama. He's born by the Canal Zone. My father went into the service when he was 17 years old, and he had just married my mom Dorothy. And we traveled from a lot of states. We went over to Germany when I was really little. When we were little, we'd come back from another state. We'd go back and we'd go visit my grandparents. which was Odell and Albert Kennedy, and then visit some of his brothers, would be Uncle Charles and Aunt Geneva, and then Uncle Albert and Kathleen, because they didn't live too far from one another. So we go spend time with them there. And one thing I liked about Aunt Geneva and Uncle Charles, she always made the pies that were so good. Rice pudding was one of the top ones she would make all the time. And I was always over there wanting that rice pudding. Those are my most memories for them. With Uncle Albert and Aunt Kathleen, I just remembered spending time with their children. Because we did so much traveling, it was hard to really keep a friend because of the traveling, going and coming. I remember trying to teach myself how to swim, and I jumped into 10 feet and didn't know, well, I jumped in and didn't know it was a 10 feet, and I almost drowned. I slid down, and I just remember 2 lifeguards jumping in and pulling me out of the water. Of course, I was about I think at that time we weren't staying on base. We were staying off base, because back then you couldn't stay on base if your father went overseas. And if he went overseas by himself, he only had to stay in a year. And I think at this time he went to Korea. And he was gone for about a year. But that was a nice experience too. Different group of kids. Not as friendly as they were in the military school, but they were a different group of kids. I remember making friends of one girl who was about my age, but she was slow. And her mom worked with her whole life to where she was able to do things she wasn't normally able to do, but her mom found ways to help her to overcome obstacles, which I thought was really neat. I used to visit the seniors and go and write letters for them, or just sit and talk with them. And, I felt a satisfaction and appreciation with that there. As I got older, it was a little different. Learning how to skate on my own, because I was the middle child. I was the third child for so long, like 6 years before my sister came along. So I was pretty much pampered and spoiled. And then when she came along, things changed, because my mom had to spend more time with her than me. And she was number 4. My younger brother, Ronald, is actually 15 years younger than me. And that was a surprise. But still love him dearly. My mother and father have already deceased. They've been gone for quite a while. But I'm thankful to the Lord for my brothers and sisters. We still talk to one another, and we're all still making it. In 2005, I started having problems walking, in the sense to where holding my bladder and then walking long distance. Didn't realize what it was. And that went on for several months. Exactly when, I don't remember it starting. But I do remember scheduling an appointment to have my teeth done. And I all of a sudden had an accident on myself. Most embarrassing because I was out in public. January of 2006, I got up to go to the bathroom. I couldn't make it. And when I couldn't make it, I lost my legs gave out and I just fell to the floor. It happened twice. That early in the morning and then later on in the morning, but it was still early. And I was supposed to go to church with two of my daughters. And it ended up falling again. And I told him, I said, you gotta take me to the emergency room.
Let's go dinner, my brother. Dinner.
I ended up spending
Let's go there.
5 days, about 5 to 7 days in the hospital. And they diagnosed me with MS. At the moment, all I could do was praise God, because I was able to raise all the children, and all of them had graduated from high school and 2 of them from college. And the only problem was that I really couldn't walk that well. When they discharged me, they gave me a walker that someone had returned because the wheels were put on backwards. So I took the walker and I left, but then I realized you can't do what you used to do. My job cut me off. They didn't care. They didn't try to talk to me or nothing. So it was hard because you were looked at differently. It was hard to tell people that you had MS because not wanting to accept that you had it. After I fell and told the girls I needed to go to the emergency room, I had them to take me by the bank. And my legs gave out right there at the bank at the counter. And I had to tell the lady I needed a chair because I couldn't stand. And I told her my daughters were outside the door of the bank waiting for me. And they had to get a chair for me to sit down into. Then after that, the girls came in and helped me back to the car, and then I went to the emergency room. I remember sitting there for a long time waiting. And after waiting for a few hours, about 3 hours waiting, the doctor saw me, and they never did tell me what was wrong with me. They just admitted me in the hospital. And I ended up in there for about, I want to say 5 to 6 days. And by the time they got done doing a spinal tap, MRI, CAT scan, And then they did a spinal tap, just drawing blood from my spine, drawing fluid from my spine. They diagnosed me with MS. So having to deal with it and cope with it is kind of hard because you don't want people to know that you have MS, but you have MS. What I didn't understand was why little Antonio went. And didn't understand why he went. I just want to say I may have dated the year wrong. I was diagnosed in January of 2009. My second to the oldest child, Antonio, went to sleep in January of 2006. And when he went to sleep, I was asking the Lord why. I didn't get mad at God, but I just wanted to know why. But when I was diagnosed with the MS, the Lord knew that I would be taking care of him his whole life because he was already disabled. I was told he was dropped at birth, and that's why his skull was too far over, but to the left. But he did live a good 27 and a half years.
This is when you get video. Oh yeah, we got the video. Everybody here, if y'all don't know what this is, y'all gonna have to recognize.
Right.
Wreck that.
Get that hand too. Look at that hand.
Hold me down, hold me down. they know where they at, huh?